Where is crypto headed next? We're going to look at the key levels on the charts and determine market momentum. Let's run the numbers. When looking across the crypto market, we can see Litecoin and Link coming up. AVAX is doing well. DOT, NIA, and Rune. Wow, they're really going for it. And what about in GameFi? Mana is looking pretty nice. Audi is going a little bit bananas, and not too much happening in DeFi, but it's not too bad overall. And of course, Solana up a little over 10.8%. There's been a lot of activity across the weekend, nearly $145 million worth of liquidations. The majority have been long, which has been pushing price down, but the shorts are always getting hammered as well as the longs. If you're using leverage, you just have to be prepared. It doesn't matter what side you go on, you're going to get liquidated sooner or later. It's probably useful to know, I tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. And the only things that I'm involved with are on the About page of YouTube. So please just bear this in mind. And you can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter. If you're liking the content so far, please smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. We have one of the best communities on YouTube. One of the major driving forces behind crypto is total crypto market cap. It's very important to keep your eye on total crypto. What we see here from a sophisticated retail level, this resistance level has been overcome. This will create a lot of optimism from a retail perspective inside the market. The problem is that that's not actually the thing to get excited about. The thing to get excited about is structure. What is structure? When you look at the CTKS method, I'm going to show you through this indicator a markup of nearly 3,900 days. I'll just pop that on for you so you can see where the real structure is. And why isn't this particular line real structure? If we look at it, it's only 14 hours worth of structure. Unfortunately for this line, total has been trading since 2014. It's statistically insignificant as far as a real level of resistance goes. Now, what we see inside total crypto market cap, we've blasted through several levels of resistance. When we tend to do this, we have a retracement. Now, the retracement is going to freak a lot of people out, but if we hold on to these structural levels and start to come back up, we're looking so good. When you combine the retail perspective with a structural perspective, wow, the magic happens then. At this current time, with the markets retracing, we need to keep our eye on what Bitcoin is doing because no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. We can see two retail levels, and this is sophisticated retail, so it's not bad in any way. It's just how the majority of people interpret price action if they're doing it really well. The concept is this first primary level of resistance, and it's short term. A lot of people will be looking here to see some overcoming of this resistance level. This secondary resistance has already been overcome. That is positive for the market, but that's being driven by optimism inside total crypto market cap. Again, what's really important are the statistically vital levels, and those statistically vital levels aren't even in the picture at the moment. The real resistance and the real support is down right here. We're actually trading in a fresh air gap. Fresh air gaps are fantastic when we leave support and explode up. But if we don't tend to follow through, they can come down pretty hard. That's why we're looking at total crypto market cap. That's why there's weakness inside the crypto market currently, because total is stalling out. But we've seen it start to get over that structural resistance level. It really realistically needs to just confirm that follow through. Professional traders always want the fastest possible signal. When we look at this retail resistance line, we're starting to see price getting over that, but that's happened before. So when it happened before, we just pin it to that line to determine when and if it happens again. We're getting follow through from total, but we do expect a pullback. What's important here is not what is happening with these retail lines, because they're just drawn in a matter of days. What we need to know is what happens with structure. From Ethereum's perspective, that's over 3,000 days worth of data. And when we look at this structural level from a retail perspective, it's not even structure. There's nothing there. What is structure is up at that 2087 level. And what about here? There's no structure there at all at that 2065 level. But this is what's playing down from a professional perspective on ETH's price chart. When you know these things, it changes the game completely. And you can see there's another structural support at 2039. This structural support acts as safety nets as well as ceilings. That's why you must know it. One thing you definitely don't want to do is to make fear your guidance counselor in terms of just putting money into the market. If fear of missing out is driving your purchase and sell decisions, ouch, that's a bit of a problem. Fear is a terrible advisor. It creates the very fear that you're trying to avoid. When we look at Litecoin, it looks quite positive. We've seen the overcoming of this retail line, the overcoming of this retail line. That's fantastic. But what is happening here? To answer that question, we must analyze through the CTKS method over 3,600 days worth of data. And what do we see here? A structural level of 75.76. That's been rejecting price. We also can see a lower support level, and this is structural support at that 74.58. This is really good. If we get the retracement in total crypto market cap, we would expect to come back to this 74.58 mark and just blast through these two resistance levels. I really want to thank the people who've reached out to me and said, Ken, I can't read the lower resistance and support levels. They're just too dark on my mobile phone. I've increased the lightness for you, so you should be able to see them more easily now. I would really love to thank everybody who recommends areas that we can improve as a global family. It's fantastic. Retail often gets trapped by price momentum. When we look at Bitcoin Cash and we're looking at over 2,200 days worth of data, not right now, we're looking at a retail line, a retail resistance line. People will say, oh, look, when we get above this price, like 241, it's going to go to the moon. It's going to retrace all the way back up to there. Oh, is that the case? We really need to understand the structure. Let's pop on the indicator. Out caramba, there's so much structural resistance over here. This is what's been pushing Bitcoin Cash's prices down. When you understand that the structure exists in there, it's an absolute game changer. You have confidence. You know where the market is heading to. You know where you can buy and you know where you can sell. If things are not behaving correctly, it's because structure is impacting them. When we look at ADA, which is another top project, when we mark it up with the CTKS method, we're accounting for over 2,100 days of data. When we look at a retail level, we can see a retail resistance playing in at around that 39.30 mark. We've overcome a level of resistance and we've got a level of support here. But what's happened here? It's structure. Structure has happened. And also there's more structural resistance up over here. It's not even anywhere near that mark. It's underneath that mark. And we can see very, very solid structural support around this 37.97 mark. We've got an accumulation of several levels, and they're relatively strong levels as well. It's vitally important to know where the structure is. When people mark up charts through just normal retail methods, it just comes as par for the course. Because a lot of people don't understand mathematics or statistical analysis, but when you look at financial markets, that's it. That's what it is. For example, when you throw on an indicator, for example, a Bollinger Band, that measures statistical deviation from an average, plus or minus 2 standard deviations to be true. What about moving averages? Yes, they are statistical measures. They are called measures of central tendency. Therefore, when we look at a chart, we must be statistically significant with our lines. This line here is non-statistically significant. How do I know that? Because I say, look at this, we just draw a line here. Let's say that that's 1 day. When you divide 1 day divided by 3,600, you get literally nothing. It's not even a blip on the radar. And that's important to understand. What we need to do is to look at structure. We must mark it up in such a way that it's a standards-based process. What you will find, a lot of people draw just seemingly random support and resistance lines. It just fascinates me how many people draw lines just all over the place. They don't follow any scientific process. That may sound like it's okay, but when you're putting your money on the line, it's not okay. But Ken, why isn't it okay? Because it doesn't have repeatability. It doesn't have consistency. You need consistency and repeatability in your processes to make them quality-based processes. The CTKS method is a standards-based process. What is the point of drawing these structural lines out? You can see there are a lot more lines here than what normal retail is used to, because you can do forward projections on these lines that you cannot do with other statistical measures. These SLs or Stanfield levels have been designed very specifically to capture price. If it captures price and it goes above, it's going to the next one. But if it can't get there, it's going to the one below. If it can't follow through, it's going to the one below. And when you get a confluence of structural levels, it typically rebounds price. We see it all the time. When looking at the retail lines on Solana, we can see Solana has overcome a level of resistance, but we also know this resistance is not statistically significant. So therefore, what do we do? Where do we think price is going? A lot of people would have just jumped on the bandwagon here and said, Solana's going to the moon, I have to get on, I have to get on. But the problem is when you pump up a particular bag, it's likely to retrace, and that retracement typically comes back to structural levels. And also, Solana is influenced by total crypto market cap, which is another vitally important thing to understand. Statistically, all charts are intercorrelated and interdependent. If total crypto market cap retraces, and Solana's giving us an indication that that's already underway, it's in all likelihood going to hit this structural support level of 58.31. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at getting in on the right side of the percentage. A lot of people say, but Ken, what happens if it doesn't hit it? I'll miss out. You have so many opportunities. You don't need to worry about such things. All you need to know is how to get in and out of the market. If you know that, you're ahead of 99% of people. Remember what I was talking about just before, total crypto market cap is coming down. If it retraces to these technical support levels, and these are statistically important levels because they're drawn up from nearly 4,000 days worth of data, these are important ones. This line, not so much. These ones, very much so. If you're liking the content so far, please smash that like button and please leave a message in the comments as to what you would like to be covered off in future videos. So far, market momentum looks pretty good, but don't forget, if you're looking at structural levels without the structural level indicator on, you're going to be in trouble. And the beautiful thing, you can learn how to do this yourself by learning the standards-based process from the CTKS method. That means you don't have to rely on anything except yourself and your knowledge, and that is the way it should be. If you want to hear what you need to know, not what you want to hear, and that's the stuff that will make you money, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. And if you would like to contact me, I'm available through a variety of different means. You can directly message me on Twitter at any time. Have a great day or night ahead, my friends, and I look forward, and Kate looks forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Bye for now.